The Redguards are the most naturally talented warriors in all of Tamriel. Distinguishable by their brown to black skin and curved swords, the Redguards are the famous warriors of Hammerfell. Here are 5 facts about the Redguards. Fact number 1, did you know they have curved swords? I'm just kidding, that's not the fact, but did you know that the Redguards are not Tamriel natives? They also aren't biologically related to the other races of man on Tamriel, like Bretons, Nords, and Imperials. Redguards were formerly known as Yokudans, who came from a continent called Yokuda, to the west of Hammerfell. Around the year 792 of the First Era, Yokuda began sinking, which is attributed to volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or tsunamis. However, the Redguards believed that it was the result of the War of the Singers, a war between Emperor Hira and the Sword Singers. Maybe one day we can explore that a bit more. If you look deep into the lore, you can see comparisons of sword singing to the Thum and tonal architecture of the dwarves. They could all be related, but for now let's just continue with the Redguard Invasion, or as it was known as back then, the Redguard Invasion. When the Redguard, or Warriors' Wave, came to Hammerfell, they attacked all settlements with no discrimination. They killed Needs, Elves, and native beasts alike. They raided the shores of Hammerfell, replacing the Imperials and Nords who used to raid those same coasts. The Redguard paved the way for their High King to arrive with the rest of the royalty. It was thanks to the Redguard that the Redguards have Hammerfell to call their home. However, this invasion did earn the Redguards quite the reputation as barbarians and cutthroats, and damaged any chance of foreign relations for quite some time. Fact number 2, in addition to the warrior culture and utmost respect for the martial arts, Redguards consider magic beneath them. No true Redguard would stoop as low as to use the arcane arts. Spellcasters are no good, evildoers to be shunned and forbid according to those in Hammerfell. Wizards are wicked creatures who do nothing but steal souls and revere the dead through their disgustingly abhorrent practice of necromancy. There is no point in dealing with a spellcaster, as they will just tamper with your mind, make things seem different. Evil tricksters. This is the general consensus of Hammerfell on the topic of magic. However, as we move into more modern eras, certain magics, such as destruction and restoration, have become more accepted. However, the Eastern practices of illusion and conjuration are still considered very profane. Fact number 3, Redguard society is split into 2 distinct factions, one faction being the Forebears and the other being the Crowns. The Crowns are the descendants of the High King Nartotambu, who once ruled in Yokuda until he followed the Redguard to Hammerfell and resumed leadership of the now called Redguards. The Crowns hold great importance on Yokudan tradition and dislike foreigners. The Forebears, on the other hand, are the descendants of the Redguard, the warrior wave that came and conquered Hammerfell and paved the way for the rest of the Yokudan at the time. As they conquered, they were exposed to many Nedic, Imperial, and Breton influences. They would adopt adapted styles of clothing, architecture, and names from these cultures. Sometimes they would even mix their pantheon with the Imperial pantheon of the Divines. The Forebears are the more modernized, hip, cool, cosmopolitan faction. Their cities are generally coastal and major trade hubs. They are also quite welcoming to foreigners and alternative ways of life. Fact number 4, curved swords. Another joke, but I'm actually kinda gotta talk about them in this fact. You see, the Redguards have some of the most unique looking style, dress, weaponry, and architecture when compared to the rest of Tamriel. They usually don their tall, gaunt frames and finely toned physiques in light, flowing garbs to best tolerate the heat. Simple and light leather armors are the way to go for most citizens. Their curved swords also have a flow-like design to them, and this is the hallmark of Redguard weaponry, probably designed to fit well with the renowned cavalry, a sword that is built to cleanly slash enemies from horseback without catching. The Redguards are an amazing people, and this is most of all reflected in their stellar architecture. The domed, ornate castles and buildings you see are quite advanced, designed for durability, flexibility, heat transference, and ornate beauty. To create something that looks beautiful, is sturdy, and also keeps cool in the hot climate of Hammerfell is quite the feat of design. They even have a ventilation duct system in their walls to block sun, but let air pass through, which allows for even the slightest breeze to help cool the building. Fact number 5, Redguard's religion is a little different from others in Tamriel. For starters, mummification is a thing. Bodies are laid on a table and washed in oils and leaves. Before the head and torso are carefully cut open, the body is drained of blood, and the brain and heart and other organs are placed into ceremonial jars, followed by a week of chanting prayers, mourning, and swathing the corpse with long ceremonial bandages. They are then buried in tombs with their favorite possessions. Redguards have a very deep respect for their deceased relatives relatives, bordering on ancestor worship. Redguards are disgusted by necromancy as mentioned previously, and their religion forbids them from interacting with the dead. They are not even allowed to fight the honoured dead, meaning that undead creatures and the necromancers controlling them can be a particular kind of problem. The fundamental thing about religion in Hammerfell is that there are two types. The Crowns worship the ancient Yakutan deities such as Leki, Onsi, Diagna, and Ruptga, whereas the Forebears worship a blend of the Imperial Pantheon and the Yakutan one. However, some of the gods have sort of been merged. For example, their bird god Tava has also been called Kinnereth, and Morwa, the four-armed fertility goddess, has been referred to as Mara. Simply put, as the Forebears become more progressive and multicultural, they have blended their pantheons. Subscribe for more hot facts videos just like this one, like the video for those curved swords, and comment down below how many curved swords you have seen in your life. I'm Scott, and I will see you next time.